Hello all online. Oh my gosh, it's been so humid the past few days. Yeah. But I wanted to hop on here and just do some basic updates. I feel like I haven't been live in a while, and going live is one of my favorite things. Oh, that looks cool. It's like the fan blowing the tapestry in the background. I feel like that is what it looks like. That's what it can look like if you're tripping sometimes. Like, stuff starts to get wavy. That's cool. Anyway, hopping on here for live. If we are newly connected friends, my name is Kayla, and I have a business called Simply Lucid, and the heart of that is essentially to help people release emotional and energetic baggage. So one of my updates is I actually redid my website, and I have like services on there. I have like the description of a course that I'm going to be facilitating next month in August. Let me see here. Get my light right. Oh no, what happened to the ring lights? There we go. And there we go. Okay, lighting is back. But yeah, I redid my website. I first did my website in 2018, I believe, and it was all centered around herbalism. So I had recently discovered herbalism. I was working at an apothecary, and the whole digital platform, all of Simply Lucid, started as a YouTube channel. My very first video being, this is how you make an herbal tincture. And since that inception, it's grown into different things, more so tarot readings and coaching with, like I said, the intention to help mostly like intellectual, highly creative, spiritually curious, like truth seeker type of beings like myself really release emotional and energetic baggage, as that has been what I've been doing for myself essentially my whole life, being a person, like a highly sensitive person in this world. So in my own experience growing up, it felt like I could either shut down my intuitive gifts, which I did do, like literally put it all in a box, metaphorical box, put it in my closet, and didn't take it back out until college, when I really had a community to support me in how to integrate my sensitivity and my intuition and stuff like that. Things like learning about boundaries, learning about spiritual protection, learning about grounding, just kind of what I look back now on as super basic stuff, but super important if you have no awareness that this can even help you to embody more of your personal magic, light, intuition as a person. So in my own journey, I've explored lots of different things that have helped me with that. Like I said, the herbalism, the plant medicine path inspired me a few years ago. I also have a degree in psychology, studying more the intellectual component of this like emotional liberation, while also studying the herbalism and the Reiki and meditation to study more of the energetic liberation. But yeah, that's basically what I've been doing for the past few years. I also traveled a lot, so I've traveled all throughout the States. I traveled in Guatemala, and yeah, just continuing to connect with people on, at various spots in their own journey, but building community along the way, and working with people, talking with people is what I very much enjoy doing. The human beings are a huge mystery to me, and yeah, I just won't stop asking questions. Speaking of that, I have a new podcast interview out now that I did with Rejys Cowan of The Holistic Sojourner. And she's very much into human design, life coaching, and how to start your own podcast yourself. So I had a great time talking with her. I actually interviewed her while I was still in Costa Rica, so it's just nostalgic to be like, oh, where was I when I had this call, and then where was I when I shared it with you all. You can find that podcast interview on Spotify. You can also find like the visual component on my YouTube channel then. So that's an update, the podcast episode. Another update is I'm going to be having a live in-person meditation. This is the first live in-person event I've done in a while now, and this will be at Tranquility Salt Cave next Wednesday, August 4th. I'm pretty sure, double checking, yes, next Wednesday, August 4th, I'll be hosting a meditation at Tranquility Salt Cave in Columbus. And if you've never experienced like a salt cave or halotherapy, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I've been working with the salt cave for years now, almost since I started my business, and now that I'm back in Columbus, I'm excited to kind of like show up and serve in that space again since it's been a while. So I'll basically guide everyone, like you walk into the salt cave, right off the bat you feel like you've entered a different dimension, or like that's how I feel. And then there are these like lounge chairs and super soft blankets. You put these white socks on to enter the cave, and then you just like literally lay in this lounge chair with a super soft blanket in this like womb space. It's such a cool space, highly conducive to relaxation. So when everyone gets in there, they're chilling, they're comfortable, I will guide everyone through a little guided meditation. And this event is also taking place during what's called like the Lion's Portal. So I find it like a great kind of transitional event, as we like, it's still summertime, but we're coming out of summer. It's time to shift, it's time to pivot. That's going on constantly, but I feel like if you've been kind of waiting for a time out or like a reset time, this is the invitation to come not only have the meditation and the energy healing that I'm going to be offering, but also to just literally sit and be in the salt cave, an environment that I find extremely, extremely, extremely relaxing. So I have detailed events for that on my Simply Lucid page. I will also link them in the comment section down below so you can find them. What else? I told you that I updated my website. You can go check that out. Like I said, it has like services on there. It has information about the course that I'm doing. It has a link to my online shop. And yeah, I truly enjoy the behind the scenes and like technical aspect of web design. It can be tedious, but I like seeing like the evolution of what I'm creating, like layer upon layer upon layer. So you can go check that out. And yeah, I have more updates, but I think I want to keep it at those 3 for now. Just like my new podcast interview, my event at the Salt Cave coming up, and just my overall updated website with services including like an in-depth tarot reading session. We can do an in-depth meditation and energy healing session, and then we can do an in-depth coaching session. It's kind of shadow work based, but it's coaching to help, like I said, alleviate or release emotional and energetic blockages to then have more empowerment, prosperity, all the good stuff that can then fill that place. So yeah, I'm excited for that. Also, I've been polling people on Facebook, just like asking questions. One question is, what is your biggest struggle right now, kind of existentially? And to my surprise, the number one answer was focus. Like, people are having a hard time focusing. I don't know if that's just because our culture is kind of overstimulated, like everyone has ADD at this point, or what's really going on. So I'm curious as to like why that's coming up for people right now. I wonder if that would have been the main response if I asked the question years ago, a month ago. So yeah, I'm just asking you, what's your biggest struggle right now? If you want to see the actual poll that I did, you can join my Wild Wealthy Witches Facebook group. The poll is in that group. And yeah, that's basically what I've been up to, talking with people, asking people questions, creating the content, the podcast episode, but ultimately creating these services for people to drop in with me deeper, all in service of releasing and clearing emotional and energetic baggage they might be having. Yeah. So, while we're on here, I was going to like pull a tarot card just for the sake of, like, I find it very, very fun to do. So for me, tarot is not, it's not telling me what to do. Like any divination system, I don't feel like it's telling me what to do so much as it's an invitation to decode and deconstruct symbols and get the intuition working to be like, what do those symbols mean for me? So, okay, I'm shuffling the cards now. I'll play some music in the background. I don't know if you can even hear it. Oh no! Some light jazz in the background. Shuffling cards. Okay, and then I kind of like close my eyes as the cards are like this. And I close my eyes until a card pops out. Ooh. Oh my gosh. The card is the Queen of Swords. So, I don't know what you all know about tarot. We have Queen of Swords here. I really like this deck because it has a more like melanated Egyptian type of vibe. Like the regular Rider-Waite tarot deck is super Eurocentric, and I worked with that deck for a long time. I'm still open to working with it in the future, but I authentically resonate with decks that have more like a different cultural aspect behind them besides the European cultural aspect. As like cool and as much in my DNA as that is, it's not like the only thing there. So personally, I really recommend this deck, and if you are a melanated or like a non-white person out there that's just been working with all these European decks, I just highly recommend exploring what else is out there as far as cards and the tarot, because there is a lot out there still. So like I said, we have the Queen of Swords. The Queen is, I see it as like a level of development, right? So you're like a child, then you're a teenager, then you're an adult, then you're like an elderly person, more or less, like representing stages of development. So the Queen is rather developed, like a rather mature feminine energy, and then Swords corresponds to the mental plane, like the mind and decision making, right? So it's funny that when asking people what their biggest problem is, they've been saying focus. I feel like the Queen of Swords is, I would call it like an antidote to that problem. So for example, say your problem is feeling focused, say that you're overwhelmed with all of this stuff. The energy of the Queen of Swords would come in and like cut out bullshit and distractions from your life. So like, are you really having trouble focusing, or you are just focused on too much, you know, or both? So I would say, instead of having it framed like, oh, I have trouble focusing, I would reframe it and be like, I am taking on too much in my life right now. What can I let go? So like, I literally have cards on my wall right now that are my focal points. They are like the top 4 or 5 things that I put my energy and attention on. And if something is outside of that range of focal points, I kind of don't do it, or like I let myself be okay with not doing it. If I get to it, cool. So the Queen of Swords, this lady, it's an energy corresponding to very much being in that executive or mental space to discern what is important, or like what's a top priority to me right now and what is not. So, you know, like a productivity matrix would be awesome, where you see what is urgent and important compared to what is not even urgent and not even important. So I invite you, beings out there saying you're having trouble focusing, to commune with the energy that is this Queen of Swords, and really do some kind of practice or exercise to get less stuff on your plate, or reframe what's really important and what's not. If you are having trouble focusing and want to dive deeper with me on just like what I have in my toolbox to help with that, you can go to my website and book like a coaching deal thing, coaching package, and we can go much deeper, because I would want for my fellow humans to be very focused and aware and not overwhelmed and distracted in an ever increasing stimuli world. So yeah, I just wanted to do that little tarot card pull. If you want to work with me further, like I said, you can go to my website. I'm having the meditation in the Salt Cave happen next Wednesday that I'm pretty excited for. And yeah, I have the new podcast episode out. So this has been fun. I love you all. Let me know any questions that you have in the comments, and don't hesitate to hit me up. Peace.